Hey guys,
Hi.
What's up? What's up, you guys?
Hello.
can everybody hear us? Everyone else? Keisha, can you hear? You're not saying nothing.
I can hear. Can y'all hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Karama, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to meet you. We haven't had a chance to meet yet.
Likewise. I see your pretty self over there. How's it going?
Hey.
Good.
So that's officially
Hey, you.
Keisha.
Yes.
That's officially Karama.
Hi.
Karama.
Yep.
I'm just loving the background, Karama.
I love it too.
I'm glad it's working. That's actually a picture I took, and I'm trying to do the thing because it's just boring behind me. Y'all got all the beautiful setup and walls and paper and art and stuff. It's like a blank wall over there and a pillow.
Good girls. You know how girls are.
Yeah,
love it,
we
I
gotta
love it, I
show
love
up. I'm showing off my beautiful flower. It's today.
Nice.
So,
Love it.
So, welcome to What Soul Sisters Say. Karama, you are
Well,
our
thank you for
official
having me.
first guest.
Wow, I'm flattered and honored. I gotta raise the bar, keep the bar real high then. All right, so I'm going to speak in a British accent from here on out, okay? Every guest you have from henceforth shall speak this way.
Yeah, you are officially our first guest, and I'm excited to have you because I've known you for years. And I don't know if I could use the word friend because we never really hung out together. I think I would refer to myself actually as a fan. I would,
thank you.
a fan of your art and especially your poetry. That's
okay.
Thank you.
Are we going to hear some of that today?
Sure. I will get all of that up and ready for you. I'm wide open. I had no idea. Like I knew that we were going to discuss mental wellness, but other than that, I'm like, I'm good. I'm here. Let's do it all.
Do you have a poem
And
in
as far
reference
as
to,
say it again.
I said, do you have a poem in reference to mental wellness or illness or anything mental that you can think of up top?
Yeah, I can pull something up real fast too on my phone that I have. Yeah.
Either that or just do your absolute fave.
Okay. My absolute fave actually has a lot to do with mental wellness.
Okay. Alignment.
Yeah.
That'll work.
So while he's getting that, you guys go ahead and hit like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you guys don't miss anything else, and share. Don't forget to share.
All right, so I got a poem for y'all. Whenever you want to hear it, just let me know. I will jump right in.
Y'all want to start with the poem? Y'all want to start with the poem? Okay.
Yeah.
It would be nice. Why not?
All right.
Sorry for putting you on the spot, Karama, but you're used to this. You
Yeah,
know how it is. You're
look,
used to this.
if somebody can't put you on the spot and you perform, what good is, why are you doing all that? So that's what it's for. All right, so y'all can hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I don't know how to even introduce this. Okay, so you know how you might start off talking to somebody or somebody will ask you a question and you're not really focused on what they're saying, so you just answer like you think you're answering the question, but you really might go off on a tangent or something. It started like that. It was a joke where this guy was saying, I meant to say to my father over dinner, can you please pass the potatoes? But it came out as, you ruined my life, you bastard. So we all started laughing, like, whoa. So, we used to get inspiration for poetry from stuff like that. So we started talking like, okay, have you ever wanted to say something or you were talking about a particular subject, but all kind of other stuff came out. So that's the setup for this piece.
Okay.
All right. So the intention of this piece is to do something I had never done, which is to find a word to rhyme with orange. So that's the name of this piece. Now, the whole time I'm working on the orange stuff, but a lot of other stuff gonna be coming out. So y'all ready?
You ready?
I feel like writing a piece about something and nothing all at the same time and simultaneously find a way to tie it all into the word orange. And I figured if I search for, one might think, of course, stink. Or it may provide inspiration faster than the beats of the wings of a hummingbird. And if I could just find a word to rhyme with orange, I start pouring jewels from my pen onto my paper until my written accounts could wallpaper at least half the hallways and all the tallest skyscrapers above the Mason-Dixon line. Because on my street, there's a couple of kids who told me that they wish they could rhyme just like me. And I told them that rhyming was irrelevant because as long as you promise to speak your mind just like me, they'd be A-okay. Because it's drama that Karama and his mama had that to this day still makes him sad, but kind of glad he's grown and on his own so he can see through his own eyes he really wasn't all that bad. And as a lad, chose to believe that poetry was not a fad, but still I get a tad bit mad because betwixt me, my pen and my pad, we've had all this time, but we're still checking crossword puzzles in Baghdad for a word to rhyme with orange. Just to ask you, orange, you glad you've never had to become a victim of this curse to create verse after verse until it gets worse. Or maybe you were just like me and you realized your heart and your pen would never rest in peace until they collaborated, then congratulated each other on their first masterpiece. And at the very least, explain to somebody that I truly do know the difference between being alone and lonely, and how sometimes it can seem like you are your only friend. I also know some poets who can pen 333,000 lyrics, but provide nothing worthy of ever being uttered again. And when you finally see the old folks just nodding at one another, you finally understand that real spirits can speak from within. And when I was still a youth, I accepted as truth that I may never see the Bahamas, so I let that dream slip down the drain too. But right here, right now, I maintain to you, please don't give up on you. Because even if all you've got is a one-track mind, baby, you are still one of a kind. And I hope you find your rightful place in life's circle. Because if you truly care about yourself, no one else can hurt you nor desert you. And that's all that really matters anyway. Because maybe any day now, I'll find a word to rhyme with orange and get more and more enjoyment from my own words than the ones I've heard through the grapevine. Because great minds come up with great lines all the time. And even if you were only inspired every once in a while, remember, my friend, reality never, ever goes out of style. Thank you.
Love it. Right?
Wow.
That was beautiful.
Bars.
That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
So before we go on, can y'all hear the people outside cutting the grass?
No.
Okay, perfect. So we have said that this episode is about mental wellness, and we did our last video on mental wellness. So if you guys don't have a question for Karama, I have a question. So I'll ask the first question. So
Wait. Why don't we tell the people, our followers, who Karama is? Have you introduced him already? Did I miss that?
Not officially, but I said, you know, they can Google him. Karama Sadaka.
It's your boy. It's your boy.
Okay.
So Karama and I and you, Dara, we went to high school together. I knew we were in some classes together, but as I was very quiet, so was Karama. And as I followed him over the years, I found out why. And you guys will probably hear a little bit of that, but of course, you know, our time, we'll have to watch that. But we maybe have to do a part 2 to find out about that. Or you guys can just get the book, you know. You want to say anything, Karama?
Karama has a book. A book.
You know, all kinds of stuff, man. I'm just happy to be here because it's like everywhere I go, people are mobbing me and talking about, hey, tell us about your deepest, darkest, most painful childhood trauma while we sit here and, you know, let all the listeners in. And sometimes I just want to like chill. I might want to just laugh and talk and have a good time. Like I'm enjoying, you know, sitting here chilling with y'all. That's fam. Now, are we going to get serious? Yeah, but I'm enjoying everything. So, no, she introduced me because we already know each other. It's like, hey. Hey.
So my question would be, when you hear, when I said, do you want to join our conversation on mental wellness? Like, what did you think about that? Like, what do you think of when people say mental wellness? What does it mean to you?
Mental wellness is an evolving definition to me because what mental wellness was to me on Saturday might be a whole different animal on Sunday. Um, Hold on, y'all ain't never watched no Saints games? Your mental health done went all over the place. You done turned to 4 different people. You cussing and wilding out, and at the end of it, you back to normal. That's an exercise of mental health being all over the place and different external factors being able to change who you are momentarily because you can lose yourself. So the reason, wait, let me let y'all know, some of my definitions for stuff is gonna sound just like I just said it. It might not be textbook, but you know what I'm talking about. Cool?
Oh.
All right. So mental wellness in general to me means the ability to maintain mental health and to know what can affect that either way, detrimentally or positively. Like, I know that if I wake up first thing in the morning and I get on social media, I'm gonna be pissed off in the next 5 minutes. I know that because I don't just get happy stuff early in the morning like that. So part of my mental wellness is the fact that I know that. So now what I do about it, and maintaining things, trying to maintain some semblance of balance and equilibrium while I'm, just going about my day, to me is mental wellness personally. I know different triggers that I have, and I also am aware that there are many triggers that I don't even know that I do have. So I deal with it the best that I can. When I tell people all the time, whether you go into the kitchen or you climbing a mountain, both of them is one step at a time. So whether I'm sitting here trying to really, really pull myself out of a deep, dark funk, or if I'm here bouncing off the walls, manic and tripping because I got 3 beautiful women I'm on what Soul Sister say call with. I can be tripping all over the place, but I need to know that both times. I need to know in the moment, look, when I'm triggered, what do I need to do? Do I need to keep talking because I feel like I'm right? No, because I'm gonna feel like I'm right regardless. That's part of that trigger. So I need to be able to be aware of that before that happens so that I have more distance between where I am now and how close that trigger actually is. So mental health is David Banner trying not to turn to the Hulk. That's mental health. Everything he does to stay David Banner is maintaining his mental health, because the second you get out of pocket with him, he gonna get way out of pocket with you. And if I know that I have that potential too, that's on me. The same way that's on you. Now I can't control anybody else. So all I have the ability to control and be responsible for is how I feel, my reactions to how I'm feeling, and my reactions to other people and potential triggers that can all affect that. So sorry that was so much of a verbose answer, but it does mean all of that to me.
Hey.
Yeah, that answer was perfect.
Cool.
The analogy especially was perfect. I used to watch the whole growing up. I love that shit. And I get
so you
that.
know
that makes sense.
when the eyes get to that point,
always a trigger. It's always something. It's always something.
You knew it, and all the children knew it, and so the same thing with me for real. My eyes ain't gonna change that color, but the cats to run from me. The dog looking at me sideways. My girl like, you good? You all right?
Always that sign, that red flag that lets you know it's coming.
Yep.
It's an energy shift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't aware of energy the way we are, and he'll call it other things. Just his vibe wasn't right. I wasn't feeling it. Trust that. Trust that. When that starts to shift, stay cool. Now, it don't mean you're gonna be in a good mood all the time. But it for sure shouldn't mean you're in a bad mood all the time. I know some people always pissed off. Shit. I talk about me. I was bad one time for 5 years. Notice how I said that? I was mad one time for 5 years.
Right.
So you've been mad so long, you done forgot why you got mad in the first place, and people that moved, ain't nobody remembering why you mad but you. And it's one of those where you don't even realize it till after the fact. How I found out I was mad for 5 years was one time I was taking a picture with my daughter, and she was smiling with everybody. And then when she got in the picture with me, she stopped smiling. And I was like, Hey, what's up? She was like, well, I ain't never seen you smile.
Ooh. Wow.
It's like, what? Like, okay, so am I gonna stay here and argue with her? No, like that just in the back of my mind, I was crying. But you know, I gotta play tough. I'm like, okay, baby, we're gonna smile. And from that moment on, been smiling again. Now she's grown now. She don't remember all that, but I give her credit for really snapping me out of that funk because I really had to like, wait a minute. What you mean you ain't never seen me smile? She's like, I've seen you laugh. I know you got teeth. But as far as smiling, no, okay, damn. So a lot of times, you know, for me personally, I gotta pay attention to information wherever it's coming from. I can't look at it the way our parents looked at it. Oh, don't you tell me not, no, you know, smack your kids and you being disrespectful. No, no, no. This is a message coming, and I need to pay attention to this. And I'm saying it like it's easy. I've just been doing it a while now. But Lord, when it first started, when people would try to explain, I remember the first time somebody tried to explain to me that my energy could affect the room. What?
Yeah.
Why y'all worry about me? They're like, nah, man. Like, when you come in the room, dude, it don't matter what's going on in the room. In a couple seconds, the room gonna have your mood. So be conscious of that, be aware of that. And I'm telling you, for the longest time, I didn't believe it. I was just, you know, committed to disagreeing with anything that didn't conform to my preconceived notions. So you automatically wrong. You wrong until you agree with me, and then you might be right, depending on how far you gonna agree with me. And these are the attitudes that I had. And wasn't even look, not only was I not telling nobody, I just thought I was right. So people was always like, man, you arguing all the time. I was like, I don't argue when I'm wrong. And everybody just bust out laughing like, yo, you arrogant. I was like, look, it ain't that I'm arrogant. I just think I'm right. Like, it's not. I'm not convinced that y'all are wrong. I just think I'm right all the time. So it took a lot of finally understanding that I was wrong, and then finally understanding that I could always be wrong. A little dose of humility, and like, okay, everybody has different perspectives and perceptions on things. So why am I even worried about trying to change and affect others? I need to worry about me, because the only person that can really, really control me is me. The only person that's responsible for everything that I do in my circle, my cipher, my universe, it's all on me. So why not give myself the best fighting chance? Why not make sure that I'm taking care of myself physically and mentally? Because the health and wellness is important with both of those. It don't make sense to get new clothes and old shoes. So why am I get fresh with all this stuff? Oh yeah, I look damn good, but mentally, nah, that don't make sense. Because once you really, really take care of yourself mentally, the rest of you gonna shine automatically. It's just a byproduct of health and wellness. And a lot of times we are so resistant to that because it sounds different. Somebody might come through and say, hey man, I got this Buddhist philosophy. Hey, no. If it ain't from St. Paul, I don't want to hear. Hold on, man. Like, everything ain't for everybody, but some stuff might be for you. And it takes,
Gotta be open.
I want to say humility, but yes, you're right. You have to be open to it. And I think part of the way to become open to something is to know that you're closed. I read a book years ago called Conversations with God. And there was a part of this book that just blew my mind. It was a concept. And whether you believe in God or not is irrelevant to this point. The guy's having a conversation with God and straight up asks him, okay, so what the hell? what is all this? What's the point of life? So God breaks it down to him, and it's like, basically, I was bored. And, you know, in all existence is just me. So how do I find out what I actually am? The way to find out what you are is to see what you're not. And that will give you perspective on everything. So God is like, I took part of me, put that part of me over there, and then asked that part of me, hey, what do you see? So there are times, so there are times when to see what you are, you need to see what you're not. And there are times I struggled for years. I mean, most people who know me know that I'm an artist, but just saying I'm an artist, that don't tell you what I do. You don't know if I can draw. You don't know if I can sing. You don't know if I can paint. I can dance. I do poetry. I also take pictures. I also do websites. Like those things don't necessarily go together, but me maintaining my mental wellness is allowing me to let gifts and skills flow instead of ego being in the way. And it took a lot of time to really see what's my ego versus what's my intention. Like we're talking about right now, knowing what you are versus what you're not. Like, okay, am I a nice person? That don't matter, that's subjective. Am I a person who's trying to help? Do I have good intentions? Okay, if I have good intentions, then my actions need to match that. Because I could say I'm thinking about you all day, but if I see you and I treat you like you're a dog, then what good were those happy thoughts? So it's an amalgamation of all of these things together at the same time, because I can easily say, well, today I'm gonna make sure I have good thoughts, but then I go outside and kick the puppy upside the wall. Like, no, these things don't work. I have to practice this and put these into action. And the final thing I would say about this is a lot of people say that practice makes perfect. I believe the same way Vince Lombardi did. Practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if I'm trying to sit here and go through the motions of, okay, next time this person says this to me, I'm gonna be ready. And I'm gonna just cuss them out. I'm gonna punch them in the mouth. Hold on. How can progress take place if the first reaction you have is to shut it down? Mm-hmm. What can you do that would work toward a feasible solution? Now, it doesn't mean that you got to go in surrendering and acquiescing all your rights and turn into a slave. You know, you can't stand up for yourself, but there's a way to do most things that I found in my experience lately that is mutually beneficial. So if I come to you and you say you need something and I'm able to help you, now whether that's free or not, we both can benefit from that. But me figuring out what's going to help you and what's going to help me and having that be my focus, that's something I got to work on daily, because I meet a lot of people I can't stand daily, or a lot of people that I live in Florida. Y'all have no look. The stuff that people see about Florida, man, and the stuff that make the news, that's not the local news. The local news is so much worse. And it's just like, okay, I need to focus on being me, because I'm gonna go out here and one of these Florida people gonna tell me something in Trump country right now with this foreign name I got, and it's just gonna go all over. I can't do that. So to maintain my mental wellness, I need to know how far I can take it. I need to know when it's time to get off of Facebook. I need to know when it's time to get off the phone. I need to know when it's time, okay, look, I need to get off. I need to go do this. Maybe later I need to play a video game. Maybe later I need to smoke a blunt. Maybe later I need, whatever it is. Some people need to meditate. Some people need to pray. Whatever it is, I'm not judging, do you. But whatever it is, figure out if it's helping you or harming you. And if it's harming you, let it go. If it's helping you, get that and keep on getting more and more things that help you. And over the course of time, you'll find yourself improving daily. You're not going to see the improvement at first, but it's like that climbing that mountain. You still got these steps ahead of you, but when you turn around and you see the ground and you can't so far back and you realize how far you've come, those are the things that can keep you going. So that's my word.
Very good.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, did you, prior to your daughter asking you, telling you, had the little situation where she said she's never seen you smile before, did you ever think from then, from being small up until then, that anything was wrong, or that you had an anger problem, or that, did you think any of that? Is it something did you know inside something was out of balance, or was it then when you looked at yourself? Because I know how powerful that moment can be, because my son brought me to a moment like that. And out of the mouths of babes, it's just like an experience like no other. So, but did you see anything before then? Did you see it in yourself before then? Were you always working on it before then? Or is it's something that you had no clue up until that point?
The quick version, Karama,
yeah,
because we're gonna have to do a part 2 because we don't have that much time.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay, let's say this. I knew something was wrong, couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was skipped in school. I was in gifted programs and smartest kid in the room. Sometimes I was the smartest person in the room. So the problem with that is when you're the smartest person in the room, you think everybody else stupid. So there were a lot of times when people would be telling me the truth, but you don't know the value of pie. So what you telling me about me don't matter. Now that's where my youth and inexperience and stupidity just clouded my vision. So my vision being clouded didn't let me think anything was wrong with me, because the people who were telling me something was wrong with me, I thought something was wrong with them. So I ain't listen, which is why my daughter was able to get to me, because what am I say to her?
That's your daughter.
You don't know me? You don't know what you're talking about?
That's the last thing you expect to come out of your kids' mouth, exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know, when you see yourself in your child and you can't say nothing, and you just like, yeah.
That's a deep, hurtful, shocking. It's just, there's no experience like it.
Nah, you got to take that medicine, and it's not supposed to taste good. But as far as to answer your question, I did not know. Now looking at it from, now I'm in my 40s, I can look back and be like, yeah, that's a lot of red flags. Somebody should have talked to that kid right there. Yeah, I was seriously angry, and I'll explain that in part 2 and all that. But yeah, I had a really, 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 really outrageously strange childhood. So growing up with the backdrop of this is weird, right? With nobody else able to say that, I had that whole mentality of this is just crazy. So by the time I became a teenager, I started lashing out. Now I didn't go completely crazy, and like I said, I was always an artist. So the benefit of me being an artist was a lot of times when I did crazy stuff, people just thought it was art, and they'd just be like, "Oh, wow, that's creative." I should have been seeing a counselor. So when I did, when I finally saw a counselor, I was like in almost 12th grade, and that's when I started putting my actual feelings. I started making my art real, because before then, my poems were about love and flowers and the beauty of nature and blah, 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 blah. People who knew me, whenever they would listen to my poem, they would be like, what the hell? Like, no. So I stopped reading for people I knew, and I started going to these poetry shows and reading for people who didn't know me, and they'd be like, ah. And then it took one person who knew me to be like, say, bruh, tell them about the time you went to jail. Tell them about the time, you got beat, or the time, okay, tell them about suicide. Tell them about suicide attempts. Tell them about hearing voices and not knowing what's really going on and really needing mental health, help for your mental health and that type of stuff. So people were like, you got poems about that? You haven't been reading them? Yeah, because I have a poem about my cousin molested me when I was a kid. These are the things
a female cousin or a male cousin?
Female cousin.
Female cousin, yeah. Well, I have my person. I have my. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
I have my views on where that all comes from slavery, with the incest within the family and different things like that. I kind of believe that when slave masters bought slaves, especially maybe let's say some redneck broke slave masters, you're probably gonna buy maybe 5 male slaves, 5 female slaves. You're not gonna go out and keep buying slaves. You're just gonna
reproduce.
Exactly. You're just gonna. So that, to me, that's where that whole it's in your DNA for over 400 years, and people do it now and don't really understand why it's done. But I personally think that that's where that comes from. Yeah,
I agree, and I would add that many factors, so many factors come into play, and it all breaks down to the decision that you make as a person, if you gonna break this chain or not. That's really good, because they say hurt people, but hurt people don't have to hurt people. Hurt people can heal.
That's true. I think it takes a strong. You have to have a strong mind, though. You have to have a very
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you think your mental illness is a clinical, like a diagnosis, or do you think it's something that can be controlled?
Say the last part.
Do you think, I'm not even going to say it's mental illness. It could be mental illness or your mental wellness. Do you think it's something that where you probably need prescriptions, or it's clinical, or it's something that can be controlled?
The prescription I need is a whole lot of money. You can prescribe me a whole lot of money. I'm sure I can find a cure.
But did you hear? But did you hear what he did say when he was talking? When he saw a counselor. So,
Yes.
Black people,
Oh.
counseling is not taboo. See a counselor.
Oh, no.
See a counselor.
If I had not seen a counselor, there would be so many people dead right now. I would have killed a bunch of. I'm being real with y'all. No, therapy saves lives, not mine, yours. Because if you would have told me once, you caught me wrong at the wrong time. I'm telling you, look, therapy is like this. Therapy is like having your personal attorney. They can't repeat nothing you don't want them to say. Now, if you talking about going out doing something crazy, you gonna hurt some people or hurt yourself, then they gotta jump in. That's required by law, and they're there to help you. But other than that, no. The first time I saw a counselor, I saw a counselor in school, but I saw a therapist as an adult, and it took somebody from my background to straight up tell me, "Say, bro, you tripping." And I don't just mean you tripping in a passing sense. I'm talking like, let me sit down with you. Let's have this cup of coffee. Real talk amongst men. You're tripping. Yeah. Listen, people aren't supposed to be going around with this much stress. Like, yeah, you believe everything you reacting to is justified and real, but bruh, what would you ever like to just feel better? You ever wonder to wake up not pissed off? You ever wonder what a cool day would feel like to not be fussing all the time? Those types of things. Like, I didn't realize I was that angry. You know what I thought? Y'all just need to quit pissing me off. I don't sit here and upset myself. That's what I was thinking. But I was upset myself. I was remembering this conversation that I had with this other person, or what I should have said at that meeting the other day, or if I run into that dude on the corner. I was the one doing all that. I had all of that going. So I didn't want to talk to a counselor because talk to a therapist. I didn't want to talk to a therapist because that means you're crazy. So my dude said, what if you crazy and the therapist could help you? Oh, okay. So I said, it's your diagnosis that I'm tripping. He's like, dude, I'm not a professional. I'm your boy. I'm telling you, you're tripping. I love you. Go talk to him. I'm not telling you go get help. I'm telling you, the person I know, go have a conversation and see what happens. I was like, all right. So I got there and I straight up didn't want to go. And I told the person, look, I don't think this is going to work. And I don't know why I got to talk to you. And blah, 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 blah. And it just sat there and was like, Now, what if I knew magic words? And the only way I got to release those magic words was I got to hear you say the right spell. And the right spell is how you really feel. And once I hear how you really feel, I say, oh, I know what to do about that. I've had extensive training on how to deal with that. Has your girlfriend gone to school for this? Because you've been talking to her about this for 10 years. Has your mama gone to school for this? Because you've been talking to the dog, you've been talking to the neighbor, the Uber driver. Talk to somebody who knows what to do. One session. The first session I had changed my life.
Wow.
This woman was able to give me a perspective that literally all it did was make me say, oh. Oh. Right.
Do you still talk to the friend who told you tripping?
I talked to him about 45 minutes ago.
Okay.
We're friends for life. Yeah, a lot of times, let me tell you this, interventions don't really work.
No.
In my experience, it puts too much pressure on a person. But what I've been able to do in my experience since then is help people to get therapy by really telling you what happens. Like, no, look, people, it's a conversation. And what I urge is you to be real, be honest. Like, you go to the doctor and you having heart problems, but you tell him your foot hurt. Okay. He might give you something for your foot, but that ain't what you need. Get in there and be honest and explain really what's happening and try to be honest. Because with me, it was to the point where I would tell you half a story. I didn't tell you what I did. I just told you was tripping. So then it would get to the point. Yeah, you get to the point. So like, Karama, let me understand this. Everybody you meet cusses you out and act crazy with you. No, not everybody. Well, half the people? No. How many we talking during a day? Just a few. So it was making me put stuff in perspective where I'm saying, yeah, I got into an argument with two people, but one of them really wasn't an argument. One of them was really a funny look that made me feel some kind of way. And the other one was a little slight disagreement. But them 5 minutes, I let that carry over my whole day.
Wow.
And just blaming everybody else for things that are under my control. So talking to a therapist was able to put things in perspective, let me know I wasn't tripping, but let me know what I actually was based on what I was saying. Because she's like, dude, obviously you're intelligent. You know how to talk. So one of the things that I find that you've been doing in your experience, this is what she told me. One of the things you've been doing in your experience, you've been slick talking people. You get into poet mode. You get to poet mode, start rhyming, and now you ain't supposed to be telling me in orange and blah, 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 leave me alone. And I wasn't trying to hit nothing. As opposed to it, I finally was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't mean to do that. But the impact of my actions, you're right. I was trying to get that mosquito off you.
Yeah.
But it ended up slapping you. My bad. So even me telling you my intentions don't change the fact that that just hurt.
That's right.
And when I was able, that was the first tool that she gave me. Learning
So,
the difference between intention and impact.
I really hate to cut you off, but our time is running out. So this sounds like
Already?
I know y'all didn't see that buzzer. We got 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
And that was probably just a learned behavior over the years from all the traumas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which we need to hear about in part 2. We need to hear about the trauma.
We will definitely have a part 2, Karama. So keep your schedule open. Because the people could not hear all of this and not hear the backstory. So
yeah, we have to do the part 2.
I really appreciate it.
Can we do the part 2 right now? Let's just do the part 2 right now.
Okay.
Up to you guys' schedule and Karama's schedule.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we got another appointment later, so we need to be on it.
Okay.
So we have 1 hour
right now.
We have 1 hour before the next session, so we can definitely do a part 2 if you're interested. And that we can just basically, you can kind of tell the backstory and how you got to mental wellness, because we got less than a minute. So we'll see y'all in part 2.
All right.
And we
That
out.
was fun.
Intermission. Go to bed.